call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Deanne, it sounds like you have got a good news report.
I'm sorry?
You have a good news report?
Yes, I do.
Good.
Let me roll this through. Well, good evening. After your important work here this evening, as you get through tonight's agenda, then I'd like to remind all those in attendance here and also those watching at home that we will gather out at the Sanford Barn at 7 o'clock to celebrate 100 nominees and 5 finalists for the 2026 Dr. John W. Harris Sioux Falls Teacher of the Year Award. After hosting the event in our schools since 2020, we're very appreciative of our partners at Sanford Health. They are helping us crank it up a notch and allowing us out at the Sanford Barn this evening. So we'll be celebrating our deserving teachers who have been nominated for this award. Finalists were selected by a panel of judges, and our finalists are special education teacher Mary Alexander from Lincoln High School, art teacher Megan Erickson from Eugene Field A+ Elementary, science teacher Shayla Cruz from George McGovern Middle School, first grade teacher Adrian Ledesma from Sonia Sotomayor Elementary, and automotive and diesel mechanics teacher Ricky Mikulski from the CTE Academy. And our winner this evening will receive a $4,000 prize from our longtime sponsor, Vernity Motor Cars. And our 4 other finalists will not walk away empty-handed. They also will be celebrated by our Sioux Falls Public Schools Education Foundation with an award as well. So we look forward to sharing more information about the winner later this evening. We'll be putting that out on our social media as well as our website, sending a press release and just shouting it from the mountaintops to celebrate all of our teachers, and particularly the one chosen to represent the district as 2026 Teacher of the Year. And for our second portion this evening, Liz Herbold is joining us to share some information about our community-wide Everybody Reads program that'll be coming up in the month of March.
All right, good evening. As Deanne said, I'm here tonight on behalf of the Sioux Falls School District Libraries to give you an update regarding this year's Everybody Reads event. For those of you that might be new to the event, Everybody Reads is a community-wide initiative designed to encourage reading across both schools and the community. Individuals track their reading of books from March 1st through March 31st of every school year. And this year's theme is Tales on the Trails. So individuals will be reading books that take them across journeys through different types of landscapes. Our collective goal this year is ambitious and it's really exciting. This year's goal is to read 500,000 books collectively across the Sioux Falls School District and the participating communities. Last year, just for reference, our goal was 350,000 books read, and we actually exceeded that goal and had 409,427 books read. So that's why the committee thought to up the ante this year even more and see what we can do. Now, again, that reading campaign, it officially begins on March 1st, and then schools and the community, we track and log our reading through a dashboard that's provided by Siouxland Libraries. And so that's really neat because we can see real live updates in real time. Teachers and librarians can share that with their students, and then we can build momentum throughout the schools and throughout the community throughout that month of March. Additionally, we are very excited because the program is continuing to grow. And so we are having multiple partnerships this year. It's really exciting. First, Reach Literacy is going to be partnering with Hawthorne Elementary this year, and they are going to be partnering to embed reading into the school day through volunteers. So through this collaboration, volunteers are going to be coming into the school and reading with students throughout the day, just to get them in, get them to see a friendly face, an adult, and we'll see how this pilot goes with the hope to potentially expand this into multiple elementary, middle, and high schools in future Everybody Reads years. In addition, the the South Dakota Historical Society donated over 200 books to the Sioux Falls School District for this event. And so at the beginning of March, we will distribute those books to the schools, and they'll be used as reading incentives for the kids. And then the librarians will also use them in the library to read to the children as well. Then lastly, probably the most exciting part is the increase in community engagement that we're having this year in the program. So not only are we having this event occur through Sioux Falls School District, Reach Literacy is going to be joining in this year. Our Savior's Lutheran Church Community Library is joining as well, Tri-Valley School District, and Sylvan Learning Center. So that's really cool because last year we had Sioux Falls School District, and then we had two partnerships, one with Augustana University and then one with the University of Sioux Falls. So the fire is growing and the excitement is brewing. To end here, Everybody Reads continues to demonstrate how schools and community partners can work together to build excitement around reading and support students across the Sioux Falls School District. And most importantly, the initiative helps students see that reading's not valued just at school, but it's valued outside and throughout the community as well. I look forward to coming back to you in a couple of weeks to be able to show you how the kids were engaged throughout the event, things that we did, and whether or not we met our goal. Thank you.
Thank you. May have a few questions. I have a quick one. In Iowa, they do the Read Across Iowa, and then they do the Big Read, and they pick one particular book. Well, it's any book you want to read, but they give a special focus on one or two books. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if we've ever considered that as a way to just tie our community together.
Yeah, we haven't done that community-wide, but we do focus and highlight the Read Across America throughout the schools, but that's a good idea to maybe look at community engagement and how could we gather everyone to do that as well.
Kind of a competition or something to pick a few, just a select few books. Yes. And then it kind of, that's just a nice way to involve book clubs around the community, and just a thought because I'm noticing all this growth that you have and all these new partnerships is just wanted to plant a seed.
Yeah, I like how you mentioned the book club piece of it too. So another way to grab another group.
Yeah, and children's books are fabulous to read.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. And
all right. Thank you. I'll see you in a few weeks.
And Deanne, thank you for the update on the Teacher of the Year. A special thanks to all the people that wrote nominations, since we had over 100. There's a lot of intentional work that goes into that. It's no easy task. And a thank you to our finalists committee and to our school board member that sits on the, right, you did this year, I think, yeah. So thank you, Elizabeth, for doing that. And then, of course, for an ID and the Education Foundation. Okay, do I have approval of the minutes from the meeting held on 2/4/26 and 2/9/26?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Those are approved. Did we have anybody wishing to address the board? No. So we will move on to item number 7. Can I please get an approval of tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have an approved agenda. Seeing no conflicts of interest, we will move on to our consent agenda items. Can I get a motion to approve consent agenda items A through, looks like G?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Dr. Knoll, we have a few reports, or we have one report of the superintendent this evening.
We have one because we do have an important place to be by 7 o'clock. And so we'll make sure that we manage our time accordingly. The board report that we do have this evening is on early childhood programming. And this is an incredibly important area for the Sioux Falls School District. South Dakota is one of 6 states that does not have some type of a state-funded early childhood programming. And it's a vital component that helps children get up to speed and really be prepared for that kindergarten year. And so you will see as we go through this report, again, how many different entities within our community that help support children within our community and the Sioux Falls School District. So Ms. Jan Gary will provide us that report this evening. So the early childhood report. Ms. Jan Gary.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here. And thank you for highlighting the importance of early childhood. It's great to be in front of the board again, just in a month, having 2 different board reports.
We're glad to have you back.
So what'd you say?
We're glad to have you back.
Yeah. So who we serve, again, just like it says, the birth to 5. So children that from birth, if they have any type of developmental concerns at birth, and then all the way through age 5 upon the time that they enter kindergarten. We support children with diagnosed disabilities and then children who have considerable risk factors. Last year during our program year, we provided high-quality integrated early learning experiences to over 1,000 children birth to age 5. We provided 1,400 free developmental screenings, 450 comprehensive special education evaluations for children's ages birth through 5, and services for more than 100 students birth to 3, and then more than 300 for our students ages 3 to 5. So when we look at and think about our birth to 5 screening process, we receive screening referrals from a variety of different entities or sources. Parents are probably our #1 referral source, medical providers, and then even partnering agencies such as DSS or our Part C service providers within the community. We are very fortunate in our school district to have 1 dedicated birth to 3 screener who provides those in-home developmental screenings with families. She ensures that they are very family-centered and supporting that family and even providing them additional ideas or supports on things that they can do to be the child's first teacher, because parents, we really implore that they are the first and the last teacher. We also have a dedicated 3 to 5 screener who conducts those screenings out at our screen and evaluation office, but she also goes into community daycare providers as they schedule those with us. So our birth to 3 screeners, they collaborate, just like I said, very closely with family. They sit down with families and try to make that connection, develop, or collaborating with them to gain information across those multiple domains such as communication, cognition, adaptive, physical, motor, or even some of that social emotional that they may be struggling with. They communicate the results right there in the moment during either the birth to 3 or the 3 to 5 appointment with the family, and they do it in a very family-centered manner. They provide, again, families with additional ideas if the child is on track but might have some areas that they could possibly improve. They provide families with community type resources and information. And then in the event that the child may need additional screening or evaluations, they are referred to our birth to 5 multidisciplinary team, where we will conduct evaluations in the home, or we also do them out at our screen and evaluation office. And that's typically dependent upon the age or circumstance within the family. We don't want the transportation or any barriers for the child to receive that evaluation. They are completed by a robust multidisciplinary team. We have occupational therapists, physical therapists, nurses, school psychologists, special education teachers who may be part of that multidisciplinary team as appropriate. And then if children are determined to be eligible either for birth to 3 or that 3 to 5, they will receive special education services in accordance with our regulations. So when we look at our birth to 3 special education, our providers are dedicated in providing supports in that communication, physical, social, emotional, and that adaptive behavior. The team comes together with the family and with the family's input to develop what's called an IFSP, or an Individualized Family Service Plan, or an IEP, an Individualized Education Plan, and that is delivered right there in the home or in a child care setting. And then we have, of course, licensed special education teachers, and then a variety of other related service providers to support that team. Our Birth to 3 program is guided by the Bright Beginnings model, which again is very family-centered. All of our providers are certified in that. It is a requirement within that program, in our Birth to 3 program, for them to do that. So just to give you a quick, just brief video of how important the Birth to 3 program is and the supports that they provide to families. Flip it again. Nope. That was a video, does it not? So this is one of our Birth to 3 teachers right here in the black, and then that is a physical therapist sitting to her right, and then the mother is here with her back to us with a child. And there, so you'll see that the mother is engaged, directly in the activity that they are doing with the child. They're playing, games or activities, of course, geared towards education, whether the goals might be in that, communication area or cognition, or whatever the goal is of that family service plan that has been developed. This mother provides a beautiful, impact statement about what this team has done. She had children earlier on, even older children that were in our program previously, and just the supports and the confidence that it gave their family in knowing, what to do next and how to just take the information that is provided to that family during those sessions, and things that they can continue to do to support that.
Are we not able to get the volume on for you?
Sorry, what?
Is there volume that is not coming on for you?
No, it's
Andrew,
not.
could you look at the volume for
I know, sorry.
her, please? Dan?
You in your home at no cost. Children graduate from the program when their goals are navigated alone either.
Let's see how well I did narrating.
Oh, thank you, Elizabeth.
That's
Good job. It can be
Learning doesn't
finicky.
wait. It begins the
Thank you,
moment a
Andrew.
child is born. If you have concerns about your child's development, you're not alone, and you don't have to navigate it alone either. Birth to 3 is a free, family-focused, in-home program for children from birth to age 3 with developmental delays. Through hands-on support and coaching, families learn how to meet their child's unique needs and celebrate every milestone along the way.
Early childhood has been beyond helpful. They've kind of continued the process of meeting her needs with PT and speech. We were working towards her being able to get onto a bus. So that was one of her goals, because when she went to early childhood, she needed to be able to step onto the bus by herself without any help. And they were great at facilitating that. And she now has gotten practically rid of her walker and is very independent.
If a child qualifies, the family works with their Birth to 3 team to create an Individualized Family Service Plan, or IFSP. Parents, caregivers, and even child care providers are active participants in every session, every step. Services may include special instruction, speech therapy, physical and occupational therapy, and other supports, all based on your child's specific needs. Your early intervention team may include a service coordinator, a special instructor educator, speech-language pathologist, occupational therapist, or a physical therapist, all working together with you in your home at no cost. Children graduate from the program when their goals are met or by their 3rd birthday.
I sing these guys' praises. They have helped my daughter, all of my kids immensely. I couldn't imagine doing this without them. They're invaluable, beyond invaluable. They're the best people that I know.
Birth to 3, helping children grow, helping families thrive.
So then so that was the Birth to 3 program that we highlighted. When we look at our 3 to 5 age group, services are provided only through that IEP or that individualized education plan. Children attend either a blended half-day classroom or one of our full-day classrooms. And we have both, when we say blended, that is a mixture of students on IEPs and then students not on IEPs. And we have also special education only classrooms. Again, these are delivered by highly qualified special education teachers and related service providers. And then additionally, we have children who may require advanced interventions, and so the team may determine that they need a special education only classroom, and that is called the RISE classroom, or otherwise known as Reaching Independence Through Structured Education. Each classroom is comprised of a teacher, 2 educational assistants, and a behaviors facilitator. And then we are very fortunate to receive support from our board certified behavior analyst, or a BCBA. We are guided through the following best practices checklist, structured teach principles, and then CPRT, which is that classroom pivotal response teaching. Again, these are all play-based, very hands-on, working with children through play and meeting them where they're at. And we utilize that ARIS curriculum. We also have funding through United Way for our preschool opportunity program. It funds 68 children who are on our Head Start and Title waiting list. And again, we provide 3.5 hours of enrollment for them for 128 days. Instruction is guided by our South Dakota Early Learning Guidelines, our Haggerty Phonemic Awareness, and Second Step Social Emotional Learning. And lastly, our Learning Adventures program is our parent pay, or our fee-based program. We have room for 102 children in the community, and it is also guided by that South Dakota Early Learning Guidelines and the Haggerty and Second Step Social Emotional Curriculum. And just end with one more. This is our 3 to 5.
Show your daughter how much you love her with this beautiful gift. It says, to my...
Let's do it.
The Sioux Falls School District Early Childhood Program offers multiple pathways for children and families to access high-quality learning experiences in preparation for kindergarten. We are proud to provide educational opportunities from birth through kindergarten, ensuring that every child receives a strong, supportive start toward future success. Our early childhood program is diverse and designed to meet the needs of a wide range of learners. Enrollment may be free for families who qualify based on federal income guidelines or an identified risk factor. In addition, early childhood special education services are provided at no cost for children identified with developmental delays or other types of disabilities. Please note, access to special education services requires completion of a formal evaluation process. We are committed to helping every child thrive and look forward to welcoming your family into our early learning community. All programs are aligned with the South Dakota Early Learning Guidelines and the Head Start Early Learning Outcomes Framework, which highlight essential areas of development, including social-emotional development, approaches to learning, language and literacy, cognitive development, and perceptual, motor, and physical development. These foundational domains are seamlessly integrated into daily instruction to support the whole child and promote school readiness. Our certified educators cultivate nurturing, developmentally appropriate environments where classrooms are safe, supportive spaces that help the child feel secure, valued, and cared for. Through active play and meaningful learning experiences, children build essential skills by engaging in activities that integrate language, movement, problem solving, and emotional development. Our purposeful, play-based approach fosters confidence, independence, and a lifelong love of learning. To learn more about your child's eligibility, contact the Sioux Falls School District Screening and Evaluation Office at 605-367-8488. We look forward to partnering with you to help your child begin kindergarten with confidence and a strong foundation for lifelong success.
Puts a smile on your face. Any questions?
Gail?
So when I think about the difference between the IFSP and the IEP, the parental involvement piece I know is there. Can you help me understand those two a little clearer, please?
Yep. So the IFSP is the individualized family service plan. So you're exactly right. The parents are the main driving force, or they are, intimately involved in the development of that. And again, because of the fact that those services are provided in the home with the parents, again, guided with that active participation and having them be that child's first teacher. And then the IEP is individualized education plan. Parents, we of course encourage parents to be active participants in that as well, and they develop and help create and write that individualized education plan as well. It just looks a little bit different because the services are provided within the school rather than in the home.
Thank you.
Just to follow up to Gail's question, for the family-based programming, do you offer flexible schedules when you go to their homes, just to be mindful of the working family and all of that?
Yep, absolutely. So our providers work directly with the families to find an agreed upon time that will work between the family and the providers. Sometimes parents opt to have it if the child's at daycare to be in the daycare, maybe because of schedules or just for ease. It just kind of depends on whatever works best for that team. And
Is there busing provided for some of those early education programs that are inside the schools?
Yep, we provide busing. Absolutely. Yep, for our kids that are enrolled in the Sioux Falls School District, the 3 to 5. Yep, absolutely.
Very cool. And last comment I'll make is I was at JFK at their RISE early childhood, and the teacher said something really profound. And she said, when you've met one student with autism, you've met one student with autism, and the work that goes into having, a multitude of levels of autism in one room. And I know you mentioned there's 3 support staff inside the room with different academic certificates to support it, and it is truly needed.
Absolutely.
And so it's just awesome to see them at work and to see all the time and attention and individualized attention given to each kid. So it's really special to
Thank you. The teams work so hard, hard. You're welcome in to come visit ours,
Yeah.
any of our early childhood or our early childhood rise as well.
That's fun.
We'd love to have you.
Yeah, thank you. And the developmental screenings are for any child.
Any child.
A parent doesn't have to think there's maybe something that they're behind.
Nope.
They can even, have some assurance that they're tracking where they should be.
Yep, we get parents that call that say, I just want to see if my child's on track. I really don't have any specific concerns. We just want to make sure we're doing everything we need to do. And we say, absolutely, come on in.
So how many centers do we have? Schools?
For the schools, we're in 11 different schools, if you count the POP and the LAT.
So kids come from all over the district.
Correct. Yep. We have 32 classrooms plus the other ones. That's 5 more, so 37.
And how are you doing do you have a waiting list, or are you
Do.
right at capacity?
We
waiting
do.
list?
We have a waiting list. Yep. When I looked earlier today, the Head Start was at about 170 on the Head Start waiting list. So no waiting list for special education. That's required.
I'll ask a more general question, but the magic wand question. You know, if you had a magic wand, I'm sure you'd take care of those kids on the waiting list, but, you know, maybe more specifically, you know, what would you like to see?
Well, I would love to see pre-K in every one of our elementary schools, so that kids can go to their home attendance, kids can, you know, start to build those connections, build those relationships with their building administration, you know, clerical, nurses, whoever it may be. I think any principal can attest to that. If they have an early childhood classroom or students within their building, you definitely see the benefits when they go into kindergarten. You know, we serve the most at-risk population. Our Head Start, our Title, and our Special Ed are the most at-risk. So any sort of, you know, Head Start we can give them, the better off it's going to be. You know, whether it's attendance or just getting those families involved and working through that. We have such a dedicated, I say we're small, but we're mighty, dedicated team that works with these families, you know, all the way from that birth to 5, and just the connections we make and just helping support them get jobs, you know, get their GED, you know, find housing, doing all that so that they can be there for their kids and be their kids' first teacher.
Yeah, and that's not just you saying that and seeing, you know, seeing what happens when kids get this early education. It's proven across the board, right? In research, there's just so much support for that line of thinking.
The return on investment's there. I mean, it's absolutely, and we're very fortunate with the school district, you know, the Sioux Falls School District to support it even with the title dollars. I mean, it's amazing. And with the United Way, you know, finding room to put those classrooms, and we're very, very, very fortunate. I get phone calls from a lot of neighboring, you know, communities and early childhood providers that we're unique in that we have this blended model and that we're able to do that. So we're very fortunate.
Yeah,
very
thank
fortunate.
you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Okay, can I please get a motion to acknowledge the early childhood programming report?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have approved your report. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Veek. Legislative report. It's been busy. It's been busy out here.
Yeah, it's been busy. But I'm glad to be back for my 3rd straight week. So we have the QR code for people looking on at home or here who want to go in and look at our document. We have 12 key bills, and that's what I'm going to focus on tonight to try to move it along. We've went through all the bills that were introduced that affected us and had the positions approved, and going to kind of follow along here. But I'm going to jump around with the key bills. First one on the list is House Bill 1051. It's the governor's state aid bill. It still says 0%. It hasn't been amended. It's just sitting in the Appropriations Committee waiting for action later. Of course, the governor said he's going to change his recommendation to 1%. Our position on that is to amend it up higher to 2.54, I think is the calculation, is what it should be if it was the inflationary rate. House Bill 1082 has to do with reduced meals and making them free for all students in the state. That bill got out of House Appropriations today. So that is still alive and then is actually moving. House Bill 1205 would have changed the lesser of to the greater of inflation, or 3%. That bill was tabled 7-0. House Bill, and of course we supported that. House Bill 1323 gives 45 days to refer opt-outs and other actions to schools, counties, cities, so it's a bill for all. That bill was amended to go to 30 days. So we had it as amend to 30 days, and they put it on there, so we've changed it to support. That was just recently. Senate, and now we'll go over to the Senate. And that bill was amended on the House floor and passed, so it's heading over to the Senate. Senate Joint Resolution 05 would have been a constitutional amendment to limit valuation increases to 2%. That died in Senate State Affairs today. Senate Bill 58 is no property taxes at all and replace them with state funding, some kind of state aid. We were opposed to that. That bill has died. Senate Bill 85, schools only must have an election to opt out. We were opposed to that. That bill died last week, I think. Died on the House floor. Senate Bill 96 is the governor's property tax relief plan, county option for up to a half-cent sales tax to lower the taxes in their county. We have support on that, and that was on the floor today, and I don't know what happened to that one, if it got acted on. Do you know? Senate Bill 157 would have averaged fall enrollment, so you could take the better of your current enrollment or your last 2 years average. We supported that. That bill has died. It was killed in Senate Ed 4-3. Senate Bill 218 was a charter school bill. We opposed that. It died on the Senate floor 17-17. And then they tried to reconsider it, and it got 17 votes again. It was 17-16, but they needed 18 to reconsider it. So that bill is dead. Senate Bill 223 was a kind of a second chance at the apple to get at opt-outs for schools and schools only. It would force, it wouldn't force an opt-out vote, but for like our district with over 100,000 voters, it would take 150 signatures and add days also to add, I think it's 40 days to get those signed. That bill is still alive. We of course think the bill we talked about just a second ago, which is if you're going to change opt-out rules, change them for everybody and make it somewhat reasonable, where you don't have large entities don't have virtual automatic opt-outs by making the amount required so small. Senate Bill 229 was a bill for capital outlay certificates, or otherwise known as capital outlay bonds. It would originally was going to require a vote if it was over $50,000. You wouldn't go out for capital outlay certificates for $50,000. It was changed to capital outlay certificates are 20 years now, can be up to 20 years. The bill was changed so that if it was over 10 years, then it would have to go to a vote. If it was 10 years or under, it wouldn't be subject to a vote. That bill died today on the Senate floor with 16 yes votes. So it was fairly close, but it didn't make it. So those were the key bills. When we started today, there was 7 left alive, but I count 1, 2, 3. Several more died today, 2 or 3. So is there any, that's all I wanted to do, because I know we were trying to keep it short. I would stand by for questions on anything else. Otherwise, I'd just like you to acknowledge the report. Thank you.
Quick question on House Bill 1323. Did it only change from 20 days to 45, or did it also change the jurisdictions that have to comply with it?
The Senate House Bill 1323 applies to municipalities, counties, and school districts. Yeah, I don't think it applies to, but it might. But I don't know that it applies to like rural districts, rural fire districts, or ambulance districts. But actually, I think it does because it just, the statute had amended. There's one that has to do with schools on opt-outs, and then there's one that has to do with everybody else. So I think they were in the everybody else. But then they also did some things where, like, we have some actions that are referable. Like, for instance, when the board changed to go to 4-year terms, that was referable. And that changed that bill would change that to 30 days. And it did that for municipalities and their ordinances. And it did it for counties and they're not called ordinances, but county actions as well. So it affected everybody equally. And plus you need a 5%. Yeah, you need a 5% opt-out. Oh, it did add a third notice for an opt-out because the time is longer. Today, currently, we're required to do 2, all of us, but it added a third kind of final notice on opt-outs.
That was the only 2 things that one did is move the days from amended from 20 to 30, and the notification that you had to go from 2 notifications to 3, but it didn't change the percent, correct?
Yeah, this percent is still 5%.
And it's 2 days to 45, or is it?
No, it went from 20 days to 30.
Yeah, it was 40. The original bill was 45. It was now that bill has been amended, so it's 30 days.
Oh, okay.
It's the Senate Bill 223 that changed the percent and changed the days. That's Senate Bill 223. So we obviously, that one we would continue to oppose.
Of course, yeah, Senate Bill.
That one's still alive and-
1323.
What's the
Senate Bill
status?
223 will be heard on Wednesday morning, 7:45 to 9, somewhere in there.
On the House Ed Committee, right?
House Ed Committee. The Senate Bill 96, it said on 220, the Senate deferred to another day. That passed. So I don't know the date of that next hearing.
Good. Gail?
Okay, bear with me. What's the rate of CPI that the state aid index factor is supposed to be based on? What's the current one right now?
It's 254.
254, okay. And current law states, when it comes to state aid education funding, the CPI or?
Inflation, whichever is less.
Okay.
Our CPI is 3%, whichever is less.
3%.
Sorry, not
Okay,
CPI
so
is inflation.
by law, it would be at a 2.54,
Right.
but we know certain, I'm going to skip that thought. So the governor originally proposed 0%.
Yep.
Now he's verbally said 1%, but we haven't had any action on that.
No.
But what would a 1% do to our budget?
Well, yeah, it'd be significant. It'd be a significant help with our budget. We still have to pay our staff, even though if we get a 0%, we have a formula, but it's like we don't. When it gets really low, we don't take them down with the formula going down anyway. So, if you raise that up to 1%, that's gonna be, a good chunk of money, and something like $18 million, something like that for the district. And it'll raise up our salaries from 1.25% to 1.75% for our staff. So we get 1%, they'll get 1.75. So it helps everybody out, and it closes the gap on our negative, our expenditure into the fund balance by a good chunk. I don't have it exactly in my mind. I don't want to say it I don't want to guess it.
And if we were getting a 2%?
The 2% would be very good, because our salary formula for calculating salaries for the staff would match at 2%. They're equal 2 to 3.5%. That they go up the same. So that would mean we would be, our salaries and benefits, which are 85% of our general fund, would be matching up with over 90% of our non-federal revenue in the general fund, which is where you want to be.
Thank you. Sorry to make you do that on the spot, math in your head, but I know you're good at that.
Thanks for the question.
Thank you, Shelley, for updating the spreadsheet constantly. It's a lot of extra for you, but it's appreciated. Thank you. Okay, can I get a motion to acknowledge the legislative update report?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have approved that legislative report. Excellent. And now we're going to head to the Teacher of the Year at the Sanford Barn.
We'll see you all there.
But first we'll adjourn. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.